Hello students, welcome back to classes on storage area network. Next is about cloud computing infrastructure. So cloud computing infrastructure, it's a collection of hardware and software that lets the five essential characteristics of cloud computing. Okay, cloud computing infrastructure usually consists of the set of layers, four layers. They are physical, virtual, application and platform software, and cloud management and service creation tools. Let's discuss about them in detail one by one. The first is about the physical infrastructure. Physical infrastructure, this involves the physical resources. So physical resources are nothing but storage system, server, as well as networking elements like routers, modem or whatever, cables and all. So physical servers are connected to each other, to the storage system and to the client through a network such as IP-SAN or FC-SAN or FCOE and so on. Right? There is a diagram. Okay. Yeah. Here is the diagram where you can see the components of the physical infrastructure. Physical infrastructure involves the storage array. It involves the routers, switches, bridges or whatever the interconnection media, as well as the cables and host or server. On top of it, we have a virtual infrastructure. So virtual infrastructure, the concept of LUN, logical unit number, comes into picture here. Where irrespective of the physical location of the data especially, right, we can aggregate them, we can segregate them with physically somewhere, but we can aggregate them through logical unit number or logical volumes, and we can present them as a common entity, right? This is called as virtual infrastructure. Then on top of it, we have application and platform software. So application and platform software, there is multiple operating systems that can run on a single virtual machine, and each operating system can run different applications on top of it as per user requirement or as per the needs of the customer, right? These are the three different layers you can see. Physical infrastructure at bottom, on top of it we have virtual infrastructure such as virtual machines, right, logical volumes, logical unit numbers and so on. Then we have application software, different operating systems and apps as per user needs. They are all managed with the help of the software or cloud management and service creation tools. Okay, if you remember this diagram, easily you can explain the concept cloud infrastructure layers, four layers. Okay, actually we have three layers plus one management software or management tools. Okay, yeah. So under cloud management and service creation tool, we have physical and virtual infrastructure management softwares and unified management software as well as user access management software. Obviously this tool is nothing but like software only, drivers and all. Okay, set of components, they are used to manage the physical and virtual infrastructures. Okay, fine. Okay, next is about a cloud challenge. Okay, here we are discussing about both the perspective, service providers perspective as well as users perspective. So user is the consumer, challenges for consumer and challenges for provider. So challenges for consumer, business critical data requires protection and continuous monitoring of its access. So if the data moves to a cloud model other than an on-premise private cloud, that is, if the data moves on to the public cloud, consumers could lose absolute control of their sensitive data, right? This is one of the major issue where everybody is facing, right? Suppose a confidential data is transferred, consumer data is transferred onto the cloud, say it is a public cloud, then there are certain consequences and unauthorized, there is a possibility, there is a third person, unauthorized can have an access to this confidential data, right? That should not happen actually. This leads to information stealing, spying it is called as, right? So or skimmers can attack to such type of data where the data stored on the public cloud, certain data, if some confidential data are passed, the user data are passed. See, sometimes user details are asked. No, if you log into some website, your details are will be asked, right, while filling the forms and all, like phone number, your age, right, date of birth, whatever the things it will be asking, right? Such type of information, there is a possibility where other person can have access to it, right? Such sensitive, some of the sensitive data it is considered as. So although the cloud service providers offers data security, consumers might not be willing to transfer control of their business critical data to the cloud, obviously, right? So this is one of the uh, key challenge for the consumer. Okay, some examples are given that US server and all they have taken. You can go through it. Another challenge is that cloud platform service may not support consumers desired application. Okay, for example, a service provider might not be able to support highly specialized or proprietary environment such as compatible operating system and preferred programming languages required to develop and run the consumer application. So this is the another issue where there are services provided by the service provider, but service provider may not be able to provide all the types of software or operating system that is compatible for your computer or mobile phone, right? They are giving the service, but they may give the service, but with due by considering certain oh, certain limitation in the sense what, say it may be supported for only operating system version 8, 9 or 10. In that case, if you are using the earlier operating system version like 7 or XP or whatever, may not be, the application may not be supported on those platforms. That is one issue, right? Suppose the application may be supported for Android version 5 and above, then somebody is using Android version less than 5, 4 and all, it may not be supported, right? This is the another issue, right? One more challenge is vendor lock-in, the difficulty for consumer to change their cloud service provider. So this is the another issue for the user or serve yeah, or the consumer. Suppose consumer wants to switch to the different network, I mean different provider, there are certain rules and regulation. Okay, there may not be a possibility that if the service provider is not good, I want to switch to, like, portability is not such not that flexible portability concept we have there in that cloud environment. So it is called as lock-in. There is a lock-in period for certain days, like certain months or years. Once you complete that, you have to, you can switch the service provider. Okay, that provision is there. Okay, these are the issues or challenges on the consumer's perspective. Now we have challenges for the providers as well. So providers are the service providers, right? Cloud service providers usually publish the service level agreement to the end user, right? SLA it is called as. So instructions and all agreement, service level agreement it is called as. So the consumers know about the availability of the service, QoS or quality of service, downtime compensation. Downtime in the sense what we have discussed about it, right? So downtime is the service time normally. This is the time where system will not be operated, I mean the service will not be provided. So it's the maintenance time actually. It may be a maintenance time or it may be a sudden failure, whatever. Okay, so all the legal and regulatory clauses will be mentioned in that SLA. Alternatively, consumer specific SLAs may be signed between a cloud service provider and a consumer. SLAs typically mention a penalty amount if cloud service provider fails to provide the service. Okay, there is a provision since there is an agreement between the service provider and the end user or consumer. So if the service provider fails to provide the desired service, said service, what is mentioned in their SLA, then there is a provision where consumer can go for court and ask for the penalty. This is one of the issue. Okay, so therefore cloud service providers must ensure that they have adequate resources to provide the required level of service. Okay, so this is about the challenge for the provider. In the next session, let us see about the cloud adaptation consideration. Okay.